The Lexus ES sedan has been around about 36 years now. It's been around since the inception of the luxury brand of Toyota Lexus. It's due for a redesign. When I was working for Lexus, I saw the redesign in 2019, and we might be a little bit behind of the typical product refresh or redesign scheduling that typically happens every 6 years, and we're probably going to be 7 years in or so for the redesign for the 2026 model year. But I got exclusive information for you guys. I've had this information for a while. I just feel like now it's finally a good time to share it. And it helps that I have 3 different sources of information on this now to really cement a lot of these details on this next gen ES coming very, very soon. All right, so today we're going to go over what to expect from the ES, the next generation ES, what kind of powertrains it's going to have, definitely when it's coming, but stay to the end because I'm probably going to share a little bit more information as well for other upcoming Lexus models and Toyota models. This stuff has been, I don't know, eating at me a little bit. I think I'm ready to share a lot of this information. So if you guys are excited for upcoming Toyota and Lexus models, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe. And just to get you guys even more amped, I would say by the end of summer, how about that? By the end of summer, early fall, we're going to have crazy reveals for the Toyota and Lexus lineup on a number we haven't seen maybe for a long time, for many, many years now. So the stuff I'm sharing with you guys today is going to be probably communicated by the time summer rolls around. All right. So if you guys are excited, like I said, make sure you are subscribed. I will bring hands-on coverage of these models and reveals and news drops for you guys. It's all going to be here on the channel. So let's get into the first thing I want to talk about. And that is the Lexus ES. That's why you guys click through here. The ES is a legend. When is it coming? When is the next gen coming? All right. I can say with pretty good confidence it'll be around January 2026 as a 2026 model year. Could it be a 27 model year? I guess. All right, I don't have that information, but I'm going to guess that it's going to be a 26 model year. Now, in China, they got a 26 model year already, and that model is refreshed, different headlights, different interior. It's the same car. It's just the Chinese market. It's a different beast. And so they have to keep products accelerated with updates. All right. So I don't think that's going to be what we're getting, but time will tell. So what should you expect? Well, this is one of the more revealing things I have to say today is that the ES is launching not only in January, but it's launching with one powertrain initially. And I shouldn't even say that much because there could be different variations of this. The ES is launching as a fully battery electric. This is unprecedented for Lexus. The RZ was the first battery electric only. Now the ES is also launching as battery electric initially. So the ES is trademarked for ES 350e and 500e, and I expect both of those models, again, take this with, of course, some hesitation and a grain of salt, but maybe they launch with just the flagship, the 500e, and then they roll out the 300e. I highly doubt it. I bet both of them are going to be available at launch in January for the new ES. How much this vehicle is going to be redesigned is a huge mystery. The current model, I want to say, has something like 11-inch wheelbase. 113-inch wheelbase the current ES has. So its wheelbase is bigger than that of the BZ4X and the RZ. And so in theory, they should be able to put battery packs, the newest battery packs in the ES. It's going to be interesting what they'll put battery pack wise in the ES. And let me pull this up for you guys real quick. Before I get into this very detail-rich slide here or spreadsheet, Toyota is completely refreshing, major overhaul. It's not technically a redesign, but there's going to be a major overhaul on the BZ4X this summer and a major overhaul on the Lexus RZ this summer. Knowing Toyota and Lexus, what they'll probably do is just take the improvements from those models and just carry them over to the ES. But some of the things I'm also hearing is that this ES is a flagship. It is not, it's a flagship sedan, I should say. And that could bode very poorly for the LS long term, but I'm hearing this ES is being regarded in Japan as a flagship. Take that for what it's worth. Is a Lexus flagship going to just get the carryover batteries on the refreshed BZ4X, or is it going for the fences? If they go for the fences, this would be the first time we see this performance battery version that I detailed for you guys just for a little bit when I went to the Japan Mobility Show in 2023. They had a sample version of this battery pack. I was very excited to see it. I was asking the chief engineer for their battery program and their gigacasting program. I was asking tons of questions about this performance battery. It should be here, starting production in 2026. That's the thing. I don't think this is coming for the ES as much as I would like it to come. I think this is going to be delayed. Well, not necessarily delayed, but I don't think we're going to see this until the LFZC or whatever that's going to be called. All right, it could be IS. It could be a flagship IS. I don't know what the LFZC is going to be called for sure in production form. But this battery, I don't think it's coming in the ES, and the reason is the start of production for the ES is in December, from what I'm hearing, for this new generation. So more than likely, it's going to get something in between what we have on the current BZ4X, which has 250 miles, and 500 miles. All right, I'm going to say it's probably going to be about 25% better than what we see in the BZ4X. All right, in terms of just battery efficiency. And maybe I think range will go up quite a bit. And the reason is we should have next generation e-axles, hopefully. If not, I'm really questioning Lexus naming this as a flagship. If they don't have the next gen e-axles from, it could be Aishin, maybe it's Aishin. Anyways, regardless, we should have next gen e-axles in 2026. If they want to move them up for 2025, that would be fantastic for the ES quote unquote flagship. So before you guys get all upset that the ES is coming as a battery electric only, I'm here to tell you, chill out, because it is going to also have a hybrid. The hybrid will be coming summer of 2026, July possibly. These timeframes could always change. So we'll have likely 5th gen hybrid technology in the ES, and I don't see why it wouldn't be there. This could be potentially the first hybrid out of Japan with the 5th gen hybrid system, the ES. I'm not 100% sure on that, but if it's in the Camry, there's no way it's not coming for the ES, right? So summer hybrid is coming for the ES. Now, how much the design will change from ES BEV to ES hybrid is hard for me to guess. I don't have images. If I did, I couldn't tell you, but I don't have images of this redesigned ES. The closest thing I would have is, well, what Toyota/Lexus showed in 2020, what was it, 2021 Akio Toyota? That was a BEV ES. I also have information that the ES is just a model changeover for the hybrid, while the BEV is a brand new model. But I also have other documents saying that it is the hybrid's also a new model. All right, I don't know which document is newer. I would probably say that it's just the ES is going to get a major refresh for the hybrid. Okay, so it might look very similar to the battery electric. In fact, it should. So you have some continuity in the ES model lineup. I don't think they'll just say, hey, we're just going to give the ES a 5th gen hybrid with how it looks over in China for 2026. I don't think they'll go that route. I think they'll use some of the, and this is what I've heard as well, so take this with a grain of salt. I've heard that the front end of the ES EV and maybe ES hybrid is kind of a shrunken down RZ, a little bit more sportier sedan version of the RZ's front end. All right, so take that for what it's worth. I haven't seen it, and if I did, I couldn't tell you anyways. What's also very interesting is the trademarks. So we have ES 350h, which should be, for lack of better words, a fancier Camry hybrid powertrain. It'll have all-wheel drive. Don't know if that'll be standard or not. I would assume it would be standard, but maybe it's front-wheel drive with optional all-wheel drive. It's Lexus, so we'll see what they do there with the hybrid. And the hybrid will have minimum 225 horsepower on the front wheel drive, minimum 232 horsepower on the all-wheel drive. But if they use, or should I say, if they test it on premium fuel, it might get 5 more horsepower, something like that. Unless they want to put a bigger battery in there compared to the Camry, and then we're talking more performance too, which would be exciting. I don't see them doing it. Don't see them doing it. All right, so just look at the Camry hybrid for what you're going to get on the ES hybrid, except even smoother, which is great. Even quieter, which is great because the Camry is just, the hybrid in it is a home run. So with the trademarks that we have, ES350H, ES350E, and ES500E, what can we expect? Well, this is an old spreadsheet, very old. This came out maybe a year ago when we got trademarks for 350E and 500E. And what I thought was funny is that I doubted that the 350E and 500E would come. I don't know if that was for, I think that was probably me talking about the HZ, which is likely to be the production version of the LFZC concept. I think they have trademarks for the 350E and 500E on the BZ4X, which that could be a thing, to be honest, with the refresh, the major improvements that we're getting in the BZ4X this summer. Maybe they up the power. It's possible. We could have next-gen e-axles for it. I just don't know. All right. So 350E here, based off of Toyota's naming. If you look at 300E that we have on the RZ, that you have on the UX and other parts, it's 150 kilowatts or 201 horsepower. So 350E is probably around 250 horsepower. This would be equivalent to the hybrid in terms of acceleration, the 350H. So we're talking just under 6 seconds, 0 to 60 would be my guess. All right, then you're going to have dual motor all-wheel drive. Range will go down because it will be heavier. And I mean, I'm expecting 350 horsepower on an ES. We've never seen that sort of horsepower on the ES. Currently, the V6, which it's going to be gone. The V6 is gone. Gone. I hate to admit that to you guys, but the ES will be fully electrified. So hybrid, 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, around 225, 230 horsepower. You'll have a fully battery electric around 250 horsepower. I don't know if it's going to be rear wheel drive or front wheel drive. It's Lexus, Toyota we're talking about. It's probably going to be front wheel drive. Not excited for it. I mean, they're talking flagships. If you're talking flagship, you want to have rear wheel drive driving characteristics, and you want the all-wheel drive model here to have a rear-wheel drive bias with the rear motor. So 200 horsepower coming from the rear motor and 150 coming from the front. That's what I would like to see. But if you look at something like the RZ 450E, 200 horsepower is coming to the front wheels, where 100 is going to the rear wheels or so. It's fast, it's quick, but the driving dynamics are not what Lexus and Toyota are capable of. So I really, really hope that this is rear-wheel drive bias, the new ES, in electric form, not hybrid form. That's going to be, of course, front-wheel drive bias with all-wheel drive available. With the ES BEV being labeled as a flagship, so let's talk about the LS. The LS has been the flagship sedan for a long time. Since 1989, when the ES also launched alongside the LS for the start of Lexus brand. The ES has better legroom than the current LS, okay? And that's not going to change with this next generation ES. So the LS, according to some of the sources I have, has been greenlit for at least 2026. You got to keep in mind that the hybrid on the LC and the LS have just been discontinued. You're not going to get a hybrid on those models anymore. They sold in single digits on a maybe monthly basis and less than 100 units on a yearly basis here in the United States. It was a complete joke. All right, the LS and LC hybrids. We could see the LS limped along until 2029. Now, I've heard that in 2029, we're getting a next-gen BEV ES. This is going to have gigacasting. It'll be software-defined. I've heard people have seen this design, calling it next level. This vehicle so far out, this ES that's replacing this ES that we have coming in early 2026. Okay, so I have nothing else to say about it other than it could have solid-state batteries. It could have radical design. maybe some of the designs we saw in 2021. But I don't want to get you guys too amped up for that vehicle because it's so far away. All right, so the ES flagship EV sedan production starts at the end of 2025 in Japan at the Miata factory. Not like the Mazda Miata. It's different. It's this is Toyota's factory in Fukuoka. All right, but apparently in mid 2026, we are also getting a new large EV SUV out of Japan at that same factory. Now, I don't think I know what it is. So with this information that came along with this ES flagship information about this large SUV coming mid 2026, it could be something as simple as an RX EV. But the RX over in Japan is made at the Kyushu plant. I don't know, but we will have a large EV SUV. Is it a third row? I highly doubt it. I think it's going to be a 2-row, kind of like an RX, really, really fancy 2-row EV. That's my guess. But it seems to be there's a new Lexus EV. I mean, you guys got to think about it. Lexus wants to be fully battery electric by 2030. So they got to start coming out with EVs. So this isn't something radical, I'm telling you. The ES information is pretty radical because the ES going from V6 hybrid as an option to BEV replacing the V6, and the hybrid is still an option. So anyways, this large SUV EV, not quite sure what it'll be. Also in 2027, that's when the Shanghai factory that Toyota and Lexus have communicated to be their own plant, not joint ventured with anyone. You're going to see next generation EV made there. I'm sure it's going to use gigacasting and all sorts of new technology, just like the LFZC or what could be called the HZ coming in 2026. Software-defined vehicle, next generation batteries. And again, take all this with a grain of salt, especially with the and 2027 stuff, because 2027 could be pushed back with the 26 stuff, the ES, as well as the large size EV SUV. That's almost gospel. It also looks like at the Tarahara factory, where they build a lot of Lexus models, the LS, the IS, the GX is made there. It looks like the next generation coupe EV, which is, I believe, it's one of two things, okay? This could be the IS coupe that we've seen, that IS coupe convertible, or it could be the BEV sports vehicle. My guess, all right, and I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet here, because in 2027, we're getting mass production of solid-state batteries in 2027. So if we get solid-state batteries in 2027, that would lead to the BEV sports performance concept from Lexus coupe to start production. So that's a very good chance that vehicle could be coming out as a halo product alongside the LFR. The LFR should be coming out or at least announced this year. Don't know if it's going to come out by the end of this year, the Lexus LFR based off the GR GT3. And I am hearing that Toyota is getting their own variant of the GR GT3. We could have two very high-end coupes coming from Lexus, an LFR, twin-turbo V8, potential hybrid, sold alongside of this new sports BEV vehicle that has solid-state batteries. Okay, so that could be coming mid-2027. I don't think I'm going to get any sort of reveal on that this year, but it's not that far away if you think about it, guys. We're about 2 years away from that flagship coupe coming, about a year away from a new Lexus 2-row EV is what I'm guessing what it's called. But we should be getting 3-row SUVs built in America too in the near term. I think I'm going to go ahead and talk about a couple other things here for you guys. I said stay to the end. The RAV4 will be revealed soon alongside of a lot of these other vehicles. So guys, you don't have to worry too much about that. It's coming soon. You just hold on to your seats. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm not going to talk about the RAV4. We kind of know what it looks like based off, if you want to believe the leaks, and we know the powertrains, except for the plug-in hybrid, because we don't know how much improved it's going to be in terms of plug-in hybrid range and power output, things like that. This vehicle, I can talk on this a little bit more. All right. This, again, was detailed in concept form at the 2022 LA Auto Show. I showed it for you guys when the Toyota revealed the Prius. This is coming for Europe first. And this is what I'm hearing. Again, take a lot of what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Believe as much or as little as you want to hear. This is the CHR Plus or the CHR EV. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to call it. I'm about 99% sure that it's also coming to the United States right around, to be honest, really, really close to when the ES BEV is coming. All right. This is going to be a sportier version of the BZ4X. Okay. So the BZ4X is going to get a major improvement this summer. Those improvements, of course, will be into this vehicle. This BZ3X, more than likely, is going to be called CHR, at least for our market. Maybe they call it something different other places. That Toyota does that from time to time. All right, so we know this will have all-wheel drive capabilities, and it's going to be a huge improvement over the current BZ4X. Now, I do have some more. Abe's trying to break through. Just keep in mind, I do have some more pictures of this on the most recent concepts. So let me pull them up for you. This was announced for Europe, this concept. It's not going to be quite like this because I don't think we have the same design on the door, but we do have very similar body lines here. So this is similar to what it'll look like. We know the taillights are not going to look like this. We will have a light bar, I believe, but it's not going to look like this. Okay, so this is roughly what I think. The hood will be similar to this. We'll have a hammerhead design on here. This vehicle coming summer for Europe, at least a production version of it. It's not going to look as cool, I don't think. All right. And we will be getting it in January, maybe February, somewhere around there in the United States, possibly as a CHR or CHR EV, because it's not the same as a CHR that's made for Europe with the Prius powertrains in there. Okay, so this vehicle I'm very excited for. It's pretty sexy looking. And hopefully the ES gets some of this pizzazz, okay, coming around the same time for Lexus. Okay, well, I feel like I want to share this real quick. I'm getting conflicting information on the 3-row EV that Toyota first announced for Kentucky. The most recent things I've seen on this, okay, I'll just say it's a Highlander EV. Most of you guys know that to be probably going to be the final name for this 3-row EV. But the thing I'm hearing now is that it could be moving from Kentucky to Indiana, where they produce the Grand Highlander, the Lexus TX, the Sienna, and the standard Highlander and Highlander hybrid. All right, so that's a possibility. And in fact, I'm hearing that there could be some minor improvements on the current Highlander for the next 2026 model year, but probably very, very minor improvements. I don't know what's going to happen for sure with the Highlander long term. I'm going to say it's going to go on for 2026, but after that, I'm not quite sure. Highlander EV, probably also known as the Lexus TZ, potentially moving from Kentucky to Indiana. We'll see what happens with that. This one is a bit confusing to me. I first got this information over from Europe, and the BZ4X in January of Europe, or winter time, right? Things can change, is getting at least placeholder named BZ4X Touring. In Europe, they use Touring as a wagon or an estate. If you look at the Corolla Touring Sports, it's the wagon Corolla that we unfortunately don't get here in the United States. So it looks like they're going to get an elongated wagon version, maybe lower to the ground. That would be sick. Think of it as like the the V60 Polestar Tune. Again, I love that vehicle. It's just discontinued, I believe, for America. We should be getting a wagonized version of the BZ4X. Don't know what they would call it. Maybe they just call it the Crown Signia EV in the United States, or they could call the BZ4X wagon or BZ4X Touring. I don't know. I don't know 100%. Or maybe they call it the BZW instead of the BZ4X. Who knows what it's going to be called, but I'm pretty certain that the BZ4X Touring, that's going to be probably going to be named that in Europe as a wagon, fully electric Toyota. It could be coming here to the United States early on as well in 2026. All right. That one I'm not the most sure on, to be honest. So I think that's all I wanted to share for now with you guys. Of course, I have a much more information than that. I just don't want to share too much. And again, take everything that I said today with a grain of salt. I'm highly confident on the ES information, beginning with the BEV in January, wintertime of 2026. And I'm really confident that it is going to be a flagship, potentially ousting the LS over time, especially when they come out with the next gen ES on solid state batteries and giga casting, software defined, all that stuff. They don't need two large sedans in their lineup. The ES will eventually in 2026, probably summertime, get a hybrid with the 5th gen hybrid technology. And my guessing is going to look pretty similar to the BEV version, maybe not as blocked off as a front bumper, right? And you could have, I don't think they'll have exhaust tips, to be honest, right? Because it'll be hybrid. They'll probably hide the exhaust tips and just have one bumper for the rear of the EV models of the ES and the ES hybrid. Other than that, let me know if you guys are excited for all the other information I dumped on you guys today. I know it was a lot. It's a Sunday. Sundays are typically tough for news because most of the publications around the world have the day off. So there's rarely breaking information coming out on a Sunday. But as a YouTuber, Sundays are also very important because a lot of you guys are also off of work. You're at home. So I try to get content out to you guys on Saturday and Sunday, and sometimes the juiciest content for you guys out on Saturday and Sunday. So I really hope you guys appreciated this. Again, none of this is confirmed through Toyota. I have very reliable sources for this information. I'm very confident in it, but the further out you get, the more questions I have. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the comments. There's going to be a lot of new product coming for Toyota and Lexus, not only announced in 2025, but when you get announcements in 2025, those vehicles start arriving in 2025, and then you get an onslaught of new product in 2026 between Toyota and Lexus, and I'm jazzed. It's been a bit slow, to be honest, for Toyota and Lexus news and reveals, but that's about ready to change in 2026 and beyond. It's going to start accelerating very, very quickly, and I'm excited to bring you guys that information here on the channel. Catch you in the next one. Have a great day. I hope this found you guys well, and I hope this information gets you guys feeling all giddy like it does for me. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.